The Harley-Davidson Pan America puts this service indicator on your screen as a reminder to get your brake fluid flushed, this little wrench icon here. And it does that every 2 years, and the only way to get that reset and cleared off is at a Harley-Davidson dealership. Until now. This is the Ansell MT700 Diagnostic Scanner, and to use it, we're going to hook the cable to the back of the unit, connect the included adapter to go from OBD2 to the Euro 5 type connection that is on the Pan America, and that connection is underneath the seat, this little red connector right here, so we just need to unplug that from its holder and then connect it into the scanner cable like so. Then I'm going to turn the bike on, just put the ignition on. I'm not going to start it up and run it for this. And then on the scanner, I'm going to go into service. And I'm going to go to service reset and then Harley-Davidson. And then we press enter. And then we'll go into diagnostics and by system. And to do the reset of the service indicator, that's actually controlled in the BCM. So we'll go into the BCM, select ABS service date, and then OK. You get a lot of confirmations through this process. And then we get this little message explaining that the wrench icon means that it's time to flush the brake fluid, including doing the service for the ABS pump. So just, acknowledging that this is supposed to be done along with that. So we'll say OK. And then here you get to put in the date that you're doing the service. And that date cannot be in the future. It can be today's date. It can be a previous date. And from whatever date you put in here, the bike's going to put that wrench back on 2 years later, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use today's date. We'll say OK. And it's just confirming again the value for that date. We'll say OK again. And it does its communication with the bike and says that it is successful. Voila. The light is gone, and it tells you that it's going to come back on in 2027. Now, what about doing that ABS bleed? Well, there's an option here on the unit for that. I can select ABS bleed here and select Harley-Davidson and confirm that. We'll press enter. And we'll go into the diagnosis and by system and ABS, and it's communicating. But no go. It cannot communicate with the ABS pump to do that bleed procedure. I've tried this with the bike just having the ignition on like it is now. I've tried it with the engine running. I've tried it in just the accessory mode, and nada. It just doesn't want to talk to it. I've reached out to Ansell customer support, gave them all the details about the bike, and unfortunately they confirmed that no, it does not support that feature on the Pan America yet, nor did they have a time frame as to when it would. If it did support ABS bleeding, I imagine it would work similar to how it does on my Triumph, where I can feel the front and rear ABS pulsing, right? So you would do this while you're bleeding the brake fluid out to make sure that you're also getting fluid out of the ABS pump. Now, what else can it do? Well, unfortunately, not a whole lot. We can do some very basic diagnostics. We go into the Moto Diag program and then again select Harley-Davidson and go through and get into those menus there. So we have some different modules of the bike that the scanner has found, and we can go in. Let's go ahead into the engine or ECU first. You can pull up some information from the ECU itself. I can view some live data from the bike. Now, I don't have the bike running at the moment, so some of these things are not going to be populated. But like, we can test twist grip position there. We're at 0. Open up the throttle. You see we go to 100, so that at least works. Shows you some, basic data from the different sensors on the bike. I can go into the BCM and read the data there. And it'll show you the status of some of the switches, such as the rear brake. If I go ahead and push the rear brake pedal down, and you see that that's registering on there. My fuel pump is on, low beam is on, high beam is off. I can put high beams on. High beams are now on. High beams are back off, but it's not picking up that they're back off. And it does that with the turn signals as well, even though it's saying that some of these are on. Turn signals are not on at the moment. And so, yeah, it's not 100%. Obviously, the software on this is probably more geared towards the traditional big twin Harleys, Milwaukee 8s, etc., and it just hasn't been fully updated to support the RevMax platform. Now, one thing it is handy for is showing historical fault codes that have cleared from the TFT display, right? Going through the menus on the bike's TFT into the diagnostics menu, and you can see there are no fault codes on any of the units, not pending, current, or historical, right? Everything's all good. But if I look on the scanner here and I go into DTCs for the left-hand control module, and I have a historic fault there, invalid data from the right-hand control module, I suspect that the right-hand, if it got invalid data from the one, the other one probably did the same thing. So if I go into the right-hand control module and look at my DTCs, and yes, a historic fault that's still present there, that is not showing with the bike screen itself. So that's kind of handy to be able to see that, and I can clear them out as well. So for Pan America owners, this unit really isn't going to help you that much. Yes, it will reset the wrench light, but that's about it. It's not going to help you actually do a proper ABS brake bleed. And on top of that, the fact that this thing costs about $800, give or take, depending on where you get it from, if it's on sale or whatnot, it just really, in my opinion, isn't worth it if you're just trying to service a Pan America. Now, where something like this starts to make sense is if you have multiple bikes from multiple different manufacturers. It comes with a slew of adapters so that it can work with different bikes from Yamaha, BMW, Ducati, and it has a wide range of software support for those different brands as well. They do release updates for it, and I'm hoping that they release an update that enables more functionality for the RevMax platform. Hopefully they do that relatively soon, because you only get updates for 1 year from the date that you bought it. After that, if you want to update the software, you need an annual subscription plan. But outside of that, it's a bit spendy for working on just one bike, especially if that one bike is a Harley-Davidson Pan America. Again, thanks for watching and ride safe.